Yo, what is up everyone? Tachi here. So today I'm going to be telling you guys how to reroll in Counterside. Now originally I was going to make a two-parter, one method for non-rooted devices, iOS and the desktop app, but I have just learned that you cannot salt the Google emails because it does not have its own login thing like say Genshin Impact has, so you can't do that. You actually will have to make alt accounts, and unfortunately that's just how you're going to have to do it. I have not found another method to do it, so I'm just going to tell you guys how to do it for rooted devices only. Obviously this is easier to do if you happen to be using an emulator, because it's very easy to get a rooted device. If you're on emulator, it's pretty much just a setting. If you happen to be using mobile, an actual phone, I'm actually not 100% sure how to do that, so you're just going to have to figure that out on your own. But pretty much you go through, we're going to do the initial, basically your first roll, and then we'll go on to how to actually re-roll from here. The tutorial will be pretty quick, so I'm pretty much just going to skip through it. So once you're done with the tutorial, you are prompted to do your selective summon. Do keep in mind, you can actually keep it up if you want. So as you guys can see here, it does say 1 out of 30. So I did my first pull, which was this, and then I just hit the back button. From there, you can go ahead and collect from your mailbox, which will give you enough tickets to do another summon. Plus you have the daily recruitment, which is another 10x. You get 10 free every day, and I believe it's pretty much going to end up being, what is that, like 200 something summons. So that's going to be pretty nice. Hopefully you guys get lucky and actually get something good. So depending on what you want to do, you could go ahead and do your pulls, which you have 10 tickets and you have enough for an 8x. And then you can do your selective, or do your selective first and then do your other pulls. I guess it just kind of depends on what you want to use your selective for. Maybe you can get a unit that is not on this banner if you pull on this one, for example, because Pendragon and Shinatsu and Shaolin are available in the selective. So let's go ahead and do this. And I might as well say it ahead of time, but the purpose of dupes is pretty much just to raise up a unit, like limit break them, which increases their max level. However, it is highly advised, at least within the C community, to not use them for the early limit breaks and just use cubes. That is because eventually we will be getting level 110. So the cap from 100 to 110, I believe, requires, was it 3 duplicates, I believe? So if it wasn't 3, I think it's 15. I'm going to have to look into that. I'll write it in the comment down below as a pinned comment. But you definitely want to keep them for that kind of thing. I just go ahead and use cubes. Looks like we did luck out and we got an SSR. Unfortunately, it is Estarossa. So in regards to the SSRs that I think you should pull for, pretty much any of them other than Estarossa is probably on the good side. Estarossa, she just has a couple of problems with her. Namely, she costs too much. She does cost, I believe, 3. And there just happens to be other R and SR units that can do the same amount of damage as she can, but cost less. So it would be highly advised, unless of course she's waifu to you, which I mean, I can see why. Unless she's waifu for you, I would just go ahead and pick other characters. The ones that for the most part people will tell you to pull for is going to be Kyle Wong, and that's just because he's pretty much used everywhere. Other than him, pretty much you want to go for, you know, something like Chifuyu, Shaolin, or even Chinatsu. Either of those are pretty good options as well. I think Pendragon is pretty useful in the later end. She just does so much AoE damage, and that's pretty helpful sometimes. But I think that mostly comes down to like high-end PvP, like way later down the line, and maybe even some PvE. I'm not sure how useful she's going to be inside of raids, but yeah, she does a lot of damage. I'm pretty sure she's mostly a PvP character though. So those are the units that I think you should roll for. You definitely want to have at least one tank. I believe probably one of the better tanks is going to be Irie. And the other one, I'm not sure what his name is, but he's a white-haired old guy. He's also really good. So that's definitely what you want to go for with that. So I did my roll there. I'm going to go ahead and do another 10. See what we get. No luck there. Only an SR. So I believe she's one of the better clerics as well. The Arius, that's one of them. She is not as good as the other one in terms of AoE healing, but she does provide a shield. So depending on which one you prefer, you go for that. You are going to need a handful of units anyways, built up, just because you do tend to have multiple teams similar to Girls Frontline. So you do want to have multiple teams built up. So if you can spread around your EXP, that's probably highly advised. It's going to go do the last one as well. Only an SR this time as well. And from here, pretty much, let's say, okay, I don't like this pool. What you're going to do is you're going to close the game, go into your file manager, you go into the data folder, then you go to the other data folder, scroll all the way down because it's going to be on the bottom, all the way down, keep going, keep going, keep going. And then you're going to see it's going to be in the com.zlonggame.c.seaside folder. Then you're going to scroll down, go into shared preferences, scroll down some more. And then here, this file right here, pd_deviceid.xml. I'm going to go ahead and click it and open it in editor. Don't open it in HTML viewer because that's just showing the HTML. And then also, if anyone wants the account, you can go ahead and take this. So the device ID here, I believe it's pretty much from here to here. That is your unique string for your account. Anyone who has this can pretty much take the account. So you do keep that in mind. Don't go sharing this around, either the initial one or any of your other ones, because if you're only changing one number, you're pretty much limiting like the total possible choices, and it should not be too difficult to break into your account, which I mean, I'm sure is a security risk, but we're not going to discuss that here. I am not a security expert. I don't know much about that. So you just go ahead and change it. You saw I just changed one number, and then you close it and go ahead and reopen the game, and it should put you right back into the tutorial, and you can just go ahead and start again with the pools, and then just keep doing that until you get the account you want. Unfortunately, like I said earlier, I have not found a way to reroll on iOS device, an actual phone that's unrooted, or the desktop application. Unfortunately, I haven't found a way to do that. If they had like its own login service, you would be able to just go ahead and use Salted, but unfortunately it's not there, so you just have no choice but to do it like this. Hopefully you guys have access to some sort of computer, and you can just go ahead and download something like LD Player, BlueStacks, or Nox, and just go ahead and do your rerolls on that, and then just swap it into some other device when you're done. But anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of this video. If you guys found it to be useful, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you guys want to see future content regarding Counterside. For now, though, I am out. Have a nice day.